Hey, can you hear me? Am I coming through? Let's take this surveillance ring down for good. Destroy their advertisements, drive like crazy. I wanna...
Everything I need for just $100.
are popping up all over social media, and Noe's bleeder, it's blowing up. I'm watching their stocks plummet, and oh, it feels good.
I first watched this show, podcast wasn't just an influence. It was a way to research. How was it like working with this media? You're like the audience, and there's two characters. You know, from 2014 to 2022, so I just like moderating this figures that where the first I did it okay. I read the guy. I discovered this that Frank was back in the podcast. He just, like, I had his whole thing. I don't that spirit all over the no longer in Facebook. We're going to read Thanks so much for being here with me. My pleasure, Jim. Thanks for asking. Telling you privately that I used to. I first started Half-Off Entertainment when I was looking to share my content. The best place that I was able to do that was the Listener Society pages of the Colossal Podcast, because it's such a great collection of like-minded individuals who are fans of stuff, but also have a great sense of humor that I need to remind the podcast audience. Yeah, I mean, it was a pleasant surprise to realize that that audience was not, you didn't know. Gilbert and I started the thing. I've said it many, many times. It was a good one. We thought, I know what podcasting was. We do 10. We have conversations with Mike Saga and Aaron and other friends, and then we geeked out on it. And for me, it's a little bit of a resume. I couldn't have imagined that I do 600 almost. You say that this audience is and not only engaging but yeah, you have to joke. Yeah, and also you, we will hear later, but so many recurring jokes that you and I use some into my videos. And not only that, I use your interview clips a lot and actually in my videos because you guys ask those questions that no one else has. And so I recently did a video on Dracula Dead Elliot, and you can ask me if I've heard nothing else that I've heard Dracula Dead Elliot, so just to get some record. And I say seriously, for me, but also just to hear those unheard stories that you get talking about very often. And I actually, you're doing now from all ages. I don't even know about that, but I don't want to bury the lead. I would like to start with something I think my audience would be really interested in hearing, which is that you had the privilege of attending service of the Jim Arena. Was it a privilege? I don't know. You tell me. I've heard minutes. I was living in L.A. Hanging by my thumb, Bob and Rick would say, I was a struggling writer in the 90s, and I had a friend, Mark Newport, you know that name, he's an underground cartoonist with a fascinating guy, a great writer, and he's one of the creators of Hit, right? Big phenomenon. He was a staffer. He was in LA from time to time, and he phoned Greg one morning, and he said, I'm in town. He never got his license. Purely asphalt, this guy, as they said about Broadway Judy Rose. Strictly asphalt. And he didn't drive, he didn't know LA. I answered my phone and he said, you gotta pick me up. There's an event in the valley. And I said, what kind of an event? And he said, it's the wake of Stooge Joe Marina, a black tie gala. Oh, it sure was. Yeah, it was attended by super intense. They were sad to to say there were probably about 12 quarters down there. I was never a big Stooge guy, but I guess I saw the irony and the fun of his advanced weight. It was silly, and it was something that I had to do. Anyway, long story short, I picked him up, we drove over there, and sparsely attended a few Stooge fans. I remember in the back room were people, maintenance people from his apartment. And, that's sort of the underbelly of Hollywood. Yeah. It was a steamy hot day in the valley in Hollywood, and it was all really entertaining and horrifying. Fortunately, he was last year, and I think guy, he's not only the last Stephen King became the last one living for quite a while. I think Professor late 80s, the early 90s. But Gilbert had that great where he was saying, like, oh, Larry walked down the street, we saw that guy coming towards them, and they're like, you, that is the guy. Curly Joe, you read it to me. Always looked like, Tyler just asked who is this, but once things started to get a little creepy, I knew exactly what to do next. As soon as this dude sends a picture of me from a few feet away, I would just call the number and blow up his spot. Like, honestly, bro, how do you not think of that? And even though he didn't answer, you could just tell by the angle that it was obviously the dude behind the guy in a checkered shirt. My guy's over here rocking a black shirt, black mask, and black sunnies with nothing but healthy items in his cart. What? Yeah, that's a serial killer, 100%. And then I would just walk up to him and ask him, what the hell is his problem? And like it wasn't him, I would politely ask him to take his phone out and And what's he gonna do? He could try, but I'll just throw a shopping cart at him, dip to the car, and sneak that home. And then I'll let the police figure it out while I'm serving him with this baseball bat. You know what's crazy? I wasn't even told a chance to catch this guy, because if he called me while I was in the corner, I'd just hit the horn and listen for it in the background. Then I'd go leave the risky parking lot, and I'd just look around until I see a guy with his phone, and then catch these hands. I guess I could just call the cops or something, but trust me, he would be dealt with real properly. Let's say I'm at the crib and I start thinking that there might be an intruder. Well, when I see some obvious stuff, like the back door being open, the TV magically turning on, I'm on my phone, grabbing a
but
backing up towards the nearest door, and then we're just waiting. The second I hear a noise or see this dude creeping in the shadows, I'm gone. Then I'll just call the cops and that's that. Problem solved. So yeah, this one should be a piece of cake. Next week, cut over to the college campus where this girl Parker and her best friend Mary are about to head out on the road trip. Classes are being pulled from the outbreak, so we're going to the parents late out the chill. They know that somebody is about to crash the party, so they pull up to this absolutely sick crib somewhere in the campus. Parker mentions that the other neighbors are way on the other side of the lake, so the girls don't have to worry about any randos stopping by, or at least that's what they think. Just as they're getting hungry, Parker gets a text from, you guessed it, an unknown number. She replies asking, who's this? Ain't too much of it. What the hell? By the way, she gets another message daring her to jump in, like whoever's doing this can literally see them right now. So yeah, she's starting to get a little freaked out. But since they've been waiting about the trip, they figure that it's probably just her jealous ex, DJ, texting from someone else's phone. Parker decides to just block the number and well, later that day she comes downstairs to find the back door sitting wide open, which is pretty strange because she's sure that they closed it up, but she's probably just being paranoid, right? So she locks the door and decides to just ignore it. You know, it's pretty late. So they're just making back unfortunately hear a strange truck pulling up in the driveway. They didn't invite anybody else out there and nobody comes this far by accident. So whoever it is, they're here for a reason. Parker's pretty sure there's a real explanation, but all of the Mary ain't taking any chances. She goes straight for her kitchen knife just in case there's any trouble. But just then, whoever's out there rings the doorbell, and Parker yells out, "Go there!" They just start vanishing on the other side of the door. So Parker's all like, "Leave it late." Goes out there to mess this dude up. She gets outside and the dude's completely gone. Until all of a sudden, Maya turns around and finds him standing right behind her. But it's just Parker's ex DJ up in his usual antics. So it looks like they're good. Because showing up uninvited in the middle of the night is definitely not the movie. But even though it was just her cougar ex, this still doesn't explain those weird texts or who opened the back door. So yeah, I'm not about to let my guard down so easily. Now, if it was somebody just trolling, then yeah, I would just block the number. But texting them to jump in while they're sitting at the lake is way too specific for me. So instead of blocking them, I would have just done the same thing.
Hear that? That's the sound of No Way's PR department imploding. Beautiful.
And get ready to whoop his ass if he tries anything. But now that DJ's here, I would just ask him straight up if he knows anything about the text messages. And if he says no, I would call the number again right in front of him and make him show us his phone to prove that he's telling the truth. But this dude pulling up uninvited also brings up something kind of important because, like he's about to say, the only reason he knew where to find them was because they posted the addies on their Instas. Well, you guys already know I'm instantly against any plan that involves a cabin in the woods, but if I was dumb enough to go for whatever reason, I'm going to make sure we lay down some ground rules. And that means
No posting the address until it's over. The doors stay shut and locked at all times. And if anybody sees anything suspicious, they gotta tell somebody right away. And then we'll be good. But honestly, though, I can see why they wanted to come chill out here. I mean, this place is pretty nice. But then I noticed something. Even though Parker's family clearly has a ton of law, they don't want the security guard in this place or cameras, anything. That's anything if I can hire a friend to a place like this. I set it up. First of all, I'm gonna have a security team there an entire day before I even show up. That way they can secure the perimeter, check the property, like the security guard stuff. Then I'm gonna install security cameras and floodlights covering every angle, trains head laser grids, and even adopt a bunch of big old dogs in case that doesn't work. And of course, I'm gonna need a Blix. I'm talking 9s on the nightstand, sticks behind the sofas, and a blammy in my jammies. And then we'll see what happens if somebody wants to run up. Now, needless to say, Parker is not too happy about her ex crashing the girls' trip, but the dude explains that he was just on the phone trying to lock down an internship. He says he decided to pull up after he saw their posts on Instagram because apparently he's been feeling a little jealous and wanted a chance to talk. And since it's already so late, they decided to just let him spend the night, but Miri's low-key pissed at Bro for showing up. Well, as the night goes on, Miri starts to lighten up a little bit, and for a while, things seem pretty chill. They're all just vibing, telling spooky stories by the fire, that type of stuff. Until Miri decides that she's beat and wants to head up to bed. This gives the other two a chance to talk in private, but that's when things start getting a little awkward. Because DJ
Can I get a ride?
trying to sort things on
Can I get a ride?
Parker, but she's still over there giving the dude the cold shoulder. It turns out he's salty over a post.
Thanks.
She did it on purpose just to make him mad, but
How you doing? Listen, I'm working on something.
Good looking, bro. How do you steal the... connection.
It's Dasher. There's a Vixen in there somewhere. I know there is. Alexa?
Domino's new spicy chicken bacon ranch is looking hot. Is that drizzle with fire? Mix and match medium specialty pizzas for $9.99. Only at Who's your boy? Your boy got a little something, something. But, you know, we still working. We still twerking.
Yeah. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Now, my last video I did part 1 of the tell-all. If you haven't checked that out, go ahead and check that out. Today we're just gonna knock out the rest of them and yeah, complete this story. Now, the main focus will be on Gino and Jasmine because that's TLC's main focus and that's the only storyline we care about.
That's all I care about.
Although we'll say we did get an emotional scene with Brandon and Julia where she announces her pregnancy to his parents, and yeah, it was a beautiful moment in my opinion.
Julia is pregnant.
Yeah. I know Julia's been very anxious and nervous about the whole pregnancy situation, so I'm happy it's working out. I know she'll pull through. And yeah, best of luck to the both of them. Now, in the last episode, we found out that Matt had proposed to Jasmine at one point, and she declined for a very obvious reason.
And I know that I don't have a ring, but I just want to get down and I want to put to this. It's just a stupid string. Damn. Would you marry me?
I just don't know.
She's not over Gino, obviously, having grieved him to a whole new state, whole new city with Matt after finding out that she was pregnant with his kid, filming all these episodes, and getting bashed online by fans. I mean, that's a whole hell of a lot to process in just a few months.
I just want to see, is it going to come one day or are we just doing this until you get bored?
Okay, I'm trying on dealing with postpartum. I don't understand what I'm feeling like. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna do something that I'm not ready.
Now, is a lot of this her fault? Yeah, absolutely. But it doesn't mean that she's mentally or emotionally capable of jumping into another marriage this soon. If anything, this would only exacerbate the issue.
It's been going like 10 years. I don't want to jump into another marriage and then get divorced again.
Now, as I'm watching the show, you know, come to realize our boy Joey here likes to start a lot of ish. You know, like, I don't know if TLC is adding bonuses to the man's check, but just seemingly out of nowhere, Master Farmer Joey here starts planting seeds of doubt to little Matt here.
But Jasmine says she don't want to marry you, so what if another opportunity comes up? You taking that opportunity or? Can I say it like this? No, but if we don't live together, and this is still giving me a red light, yeah.
I think it's very interesting to me. After all the you've been through.
This is something new to me.
Joey's planting seeds. This boy Matt is the soil because he's eating it all up. Man is munching. I think Jasmine rejecting his proposal offer really got to his head. You know, he got a little bit insecure, feeling a bit resentful, and now he's kind of acting out like a little brat.
Deep down inside, do you really feel like if you guys didn't have a child, would you still want to marry Jasmine? great question.
No, by the way. Like, what the he would wait for you if it wasn't for a baby? Like, look at his perspective. Switch the roles around.
It's gonna be my third marriage. I don't want to jump into another marriage and then get divorced again.
But now you're saying that she should just accept it just because. No, I don't get married because you have a baby.
What the? Yeah, I don't know what Andre here is smoking, but it's not like they plan to have this baby, buddy. Or at least Jasmine wasn't planning on it. Hey, don't get me wrong, I'm all for two-parent households, but if they're not compatible, which I don't think they are, it's gonna do more harm than good. Andre. Now, Jasmine, listening to all this, she kind of walks out the house in a bit of a fuss. She's a bit angry hearing that Matt has a quote-unquote deadline on how long he plans to wait for her, which from her point of view, I guess, could feel a bit unsympathetic of her current emotional state and, of course, their baby's best interest, which is fair to feel that way. But Jasmine, he's got to remember, just like how he had the free will to reject the proposal, he has the free will to leave and move on if that's what he sees fit. And this is when things started feeling a little telenovela-ish to me. Like, just at the right moment, Gino just happens to walk out. Like,
Hey, guys, didn't expect to see you guys all year. I don't even know if you want it, man. You just said if we didn't have a kid, I wouldn't even propose to Jazz. That's what you want? I don't need an expiration date. I give it to myself.
Okay, bro.
I give it to myself. Yeah, this is your attitude.
You want me to party all day, all night? Would I look like Gino?
I want to take my sweet time if I ever get married.
Things were already so difficult for my mom when she was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. Then she developed agitation that may happen with dementia.
and yeah, mind you, the whole interaction right here was weird as fuck. Even Gino was like,
Oh, something. It is something. Go back to the house.
No, I mean, tell me what you're talking about.
It's cold.
It's not that cold.
Well, it's Michigan is worse. And you have the largest winter ever.
You want sharing visitations? We can share her.
you can just tell Matt's starting to get a bit insecure right here. He starts projecting, like, I don't even know what to say at this point. Jasmine and Gino might just be hooking up again. Like, it might be a thing. Like, if they get back together, I'm tapping out. Like, the whole thing's mad weird. He's weird, she's weird, this dude's weird as fuck for that comment.
We can share her.
Like, they all belong together in another planet, far, far, far away from Earth. Fast forward to the fourth and final day. I'm telling y'all, Jovi is the man they're paying to narrate this drama right here. The first thing that comes out of this dude's mouth, pause. Hey, I heard a little something happened last night. I'm not trying to be nosy or nothing, but fill us in on that, man. Like, how does that make you feel? How does that make you feel, brother?
I heard Jasmine crying outside, then I heard y'all talking. I was like, what's going on?
So what was going on then? I don't even know. Did you ever speak to Gino last night? During the night, he just made some little comment. Weird.
He's usually just screaming, cheating, you cheated on me, and he wasn't doing that. He was more like, so why are you sad? And I'm like, and then she's talking, and then they're laughing, and I'm like, oh my God, together, leave me alone. And then Jasmine gets mad at me again. I'm like,
Dumbass man here fell for the trap. He starts spilling the beans, and this man is cheesing. He's about to get that bonus.
on her. How the fuck am I going to get him? I'm sorry. Stuff is taking over. Christ. Jesus. don't tiny pie. You simply won't get tinier.
Peas. Not quite peas. Not quite beans. But something special in between.
Get the big plate out.
Give your wife the best. Give her a big round of big pie.
So I can't put it in.
This is Bowser. It's great good.
So that's Bowser. Strange place, I know, but they need what we're selling, please. I've got you meeting the Lord Mayor today. So don't miss that bus. Are you listening? Get going. What are you still doing here, boy? Get out. Joe, I'm going to need another talk of the letter. It's time to go. Good speed, lad. The front door is right there. Wait, then going up the crying out loud.
Stubby, Bill. It's been amazing, and we'll be free for another few hours yet. Let me just sit there, and ain't no reason behind.
Fella?
Only thank goodness you're here. I spied a shining compass down the stairwell. But more fool me, my arm has become scraphead. Perhaps you might see about smoking some lubrication, and I might disagree. I'm sorry, mister. We're not open at the moment. Because this dog has lost my cake. Now he's going to wait for that useless lobster. Who's Thanks. Oh, darling, you are the most sunshine spot I ever had with this boy. You sweet boy. Oh, no. What a doll. What is that? Oh, sweetie. Oh, dear.
Just the man I need. The mayor's asked me to clean up this little rose gap. You can start by getting on that mower.
That is a fine thing.
Nice firm grip on that mower line. Then I bet his wife could learn a thing or two. It's no breakfast for me.
How do you do, young man? Almost done, and then I can finally get home tonight, puzzles. I love puzzles. Your chance of any of them round here, though. Ah.
Morning. Council tax all paid.
Now then, Daffy. How about a cobbler's pint, eh?
What's a cobbler's pint then?
It's like a normal pint. But I take it with glue. My shoes.
I'd love to, Ronnie, but the beard's coming out so flat.
Right. Well, why don't you go down into the cellar and knock a few barrels about?
One chance of that. I don't even know how to get downstairs.
You can't get downstairs in every that little.
Well, Lawrence normally does it, but he's on today. While you're down there, lad, give those barrels a shake up, won't you? Hey, looking for the freedom.
Ah, nothing like a nice wet pint to start the day. Every morning I wake up, cut a lager, then I do a big wee, then I get out of bed and go downstairs for my morning pint. You know, you need steady hands to be an oxsmith. Ah, Larry, you were just talking about my morning pint. I'll take it now, please.
Right you are, Ronnie. Another morning pint coming up. You working today then, fella?
Yes. I'm supposed to be a nice old very happy. I'll be happy to have it for my morning pint.
Oh, what's he like, kid? Come on then, let's pour you a pint and all on the house. Oh, Ronnie's a character. He'll be back later, I reckon.
Once more is begun. It's no use.
Poor child. I hope he gets that something.
Thanks for catching that, Ronnie, lad. I don't need a help yourself to out from back, though. Dolly! What the hell are you doing with that mop, boy?
Oh, gosh. I'm sorry, Mrs. Meg. Your mum's will be back on the Mercury again.
You read straight.
Oh, you found me. I'm the fridge stove, and I'm awfully frigid. Ah, no, I jest. I'm actually the town beau.
Ooh, hello. Radio, chaps. Ready for one last tongue-to-tuggeroo? Grab a hold of my forum. On my mark. 3, 2, 1. Hello. Ooh. What's this? 'Twas nary a tuppence. 'Twas a threepence. Pray tell, young threepence. Why, that's too fancy. What hell, what luck? A wishing well. am, Threepence.
In for a penny.
How queer.
Look at it, the problem chicken.
I've never seen a hole as big as that before.
Is it going to work this time, Jasper? Oh, dear.
Oh, it's no use, Marge. I don't think this thing's worked in quite a while. How have you been cooking fish and chips all this time?
Oh, I just do the oven dry, usually. Oh,
Hang on a wee minute. Where's my bleaching spanner? Oh, don't tell me it's been pinched again. It'll be that steaming old fish from your fish down in the market. You better get down there and find it, or it'll be cold chips till the cows come home. Now then, Marge, about that payment.
oh, well, it looks like there's no pieces.
No, I'm not doing it like that again.
Oh, knocking on my door, is it?
And put it here. If you don't think we can put it in, it's like a joke, right? Can you straighten it up good?
Come on, we can do one for all, buckle my shoes. Oh, I don't know. Pretty cool, maybe.
Council says we've got to get these dogs buried by end of day. That's what we call a wave fight, which is what we call a shagging. I'll put a sausage here. Would you like it? Here you go. Ah, I dropped it. That's okay. I'll put another. Ah, I've dropped it again. All right. I'll put some more inside. I'll get them good.
There you go.
What have we got here then? A How do you know? Don't worry, little fella. I'll pop you down the apples and pears immediately.
That's nice. Don't bother there, young man. Help yourself. Stop and bread on your way out. I better get a good fun and push. Off you got then.
How long enough? How long okay?
Oh, thank goodness you're here. I've been sucking these guys all morning. Haven't got the crop out of it. Little Samantha here is nearly crusted over. We need to dampen that topsoil pronto. Don't get it this time. Yeah, well, do. Well, one thing you ought to know about birds. That's great. One time, I was up a hill. Oh, a fine scene. Gaffer, I've no idea how that got there. I told the other one, passing off my spanner as a step kipper, is it? We've been friends for 40 years. Why on earth would I betray your trust now? Why don't you spare me the excuses, you fat troll? I'm taking this back to my toolbox, where it belongs. How embarrassing. Correct. Have you heard about Big Ron? What's he done? No pie. No pie? Oh, wow, hold on. Any fish caught? What's this about then? What are you going to do? What to know? I need to find this.
Of course, the some.
Well, there you go then. I'll be round at 6. Be honest about it. Don't worry, again. I can't believe that big man not pie.
Stubbs the name, Ruggs of the game.
set him up now, haven't you?
Well, what did?
Well, you didn't have to say it like that.
Should be so soft about it. I'm gonna make sure they don't see me cooking bananas.
That's a mess.
Albatross, a thick rope of wire. Ah, a horseshoe. Oh, my big bow.
Smoky bone.
Big five, tiny five. Oh, I needed my burger.
You can have any of that. Karen's illuminated on where she's done. Da-da-da. I need a bit of water though.
Moist up, get them fresh, get them warm, get them moist. No breakfast, now no lunch.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there, so there. What's it doing in there?
Oh, you've come just in the nick of time. I came in as usual, opened some shop, counted till, went to make the first buy of the day, and then I realised we've no meat. I can't make a pie without meat. It's the second most important ingredient. Oh, I hate to say it, but you have to get down to Sam's house and pick up some of his dead. Oh, sorry state indeed. Lawrence, get that oven warmed up for when this young man comes back.
Yes, of course, Mr. One. Right away.
Come on then, lad, let's be having you.
Hey, handsome man, go.
I can't run through that, can I?
Hello, Santa.
That's what you do, then. They didn't need it for the camera, something in here.
Marcus, we'll just start.
Looks like we didn't need that hose after all, lad. Right, so all we need now is fertilizer.
I smell quail. Oh, I see. Point for the tomatoes. All for me. Let me know, Heather. Let me know.
You know, I love cucumbers, but I can't stand the snails. Every time I put one in my mouth, I nearly sick. Would you do me a favour? If you see these snails, give them a click on the ear roll for me.
Ooh, vomiting.
I reckon Roger'll have a full stack.
Oh, Billy, you knew you'd do this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Fez, let's have a good looking fish in here. That one's got a nice tip.
I'll think of it. The most invasive and hostile. Even slightly agitated, it will burst, scatter the seed. Unfortunately, I caught this one before it could do any damage. Never touch a thing going with the house. It's dangerous to do.
Can't seem to understand it. I pick up all of it and I put it in a packet. And then, next day I thought, it's coming everywhere. I'll never make a puzzle that at this rate. Still, I do love liquor.
Bottom of the kettle.
Oh, hello there, young man. Thank goodness you're here. My drain pipes are all blocked up over there. I need to clean it out. Won't you give it a go? Great job!
It's only Nancy's new bloody boyfriend. She's got a new one every week.
All right. Maybe let's go to something sit down tea.
I'd rather have a sit-down and wait.
Oh.
Chicken bake, please, love. Well, with no butter today, Colin's gone and lost it. So it's vegan. I hope that's all right. Oh, no, I'd rather sit in bed.
Bring back asbestos. It's fine.
Do you think it's possible to use it?
Hey, oh, it's happened again. He passed it off.
I do love my poor wife. With your wife, come around sometime. We'll live underground. It's soil now. No way I've forgotten. I've got some work to suck up into my big warm mouth.
So, I was watching the television last night. Get it higher. I was watching dry vacuum cleaner. It almost caught my eye. But then I happened upon the strangest of things. An entire television channel dedicated to women.
I cracking work reclaiming my spanner from that despicable fishmonger. Unfortunately, I've just noticed my screwdriver's gone missing too. It's probably that damn blasted Kerry down at Price Shaggers. Right, away you go, laddie. I can't get into this thing without my trusty screwdriver.
Hello. It's just Rich who found his spanner. Shame about Mr. Fish, though. I'll not be buying from him again.
That right, still wrong.
Yeah, but you're rubbish at that bit. I wouldn't.
Oh, my goodness, y'all. They're everywhere. Somebody must have heard them down from the roof. Can you bet you jump off your back one or some down?
I've been on my best behavior. Not a mouse.
God save me of all babies.
Yeah, but you're rubbish, man, baby.
Oh, no.
What the devil are you still doing here, boy? I need that screwdriver quick, Sticks.
Yeah, but you're rubbish, man, baby.
Oh.
What on earth is it now?
Carrie Louise Pickle, passing off my flathead as your produce, is it?
Yeah, but mine up. We got
I can't turn my back for a minute in this town without one of you pinching my tools.
I swear down, I've never seen this before in my life.
You're likely story. I'll be filing a complaint with the head office, that's for sure. Right, anyway, back to the chipple with this.
You're right, we're doing it. Anyway, thank you. Let's get the next open.
You put your bed in my bed. Eh? Aye, thanks for helping me get the screwdriver back, laddie. I wish I could say we were done, lad, I really do. But as I got back, I noticed my hammer's gone wonkies. It must have been pinched by that no-good yob, Frank. He's probably doing it in the brook, poaching fish as we speak.
Oh, hello. Can't believe that Kevin thinks.
Come on, I'll eat it raw. Okay, we'll do some. Oh. Never me in your bin. Wicked head, blotted lung, smoking's best when you start it young. I used to go to visit with my doctor says the frying will give me gout.
Here he is again. Ready for another bit of fiddle sticks, are you? What's your name?
Ah, hello again. Didn't expect to see you twice in one day.
Not here. Actually, they do not like snails at all. I'm a Chinese surveyor, and I'm in trouble. Oh, they do.
Hello! Another thing you want to know. Very limited prayer. It's either have a couple of seats or falling through keyholes at night by the giant penny. Apparently, he's going to sell the Swiss room.
Yeah, they are luscious still.
Well, they are looking.
Well, well. I never thought I'd see there in a big metal boots and me, but it's me. Over there, how it long, let's say.
I'm from now on 7 years old. I'm giving up my life. But I took a kidnapping the first in me.
I was scarcely 3 years old. My father mistaken me for a small bit of medicine from the Alton smokehouse. I was nearly dead and lawyer when the call my sisters found me. By then, I was already stricken with a black lung. The doctor said I'd travel to see my 12th summer. Now, one black winter's night, my father brought me and my sisters along age. Put a single sheet back between us. Mine, the one for the letter, jolted as I made the cut. It bleeded and bled for a fortnight.
Excellent work. Now then, quiet the fire. I'll tell thee how. Now, I suppose all we need to do is... Right! I've forgotten the most important ingredient.
Fine. Here we are. I'm sure there's the number in here somewhere. Ah, here it is. Pastry Beats Premium Mixture Company. Family Mixture Delivery for Pies.biz.
Pastry Beats Premium Mixture Company. Family Mixture Delivery for Pies.biz.
Oh, raw. All right, lad. The number is... Oh. One. Two. Another 2. 6.
Hello, this is Pastry Beats Premium Pastry.
Colin, is that you?
Oh, hello, Mr. Ron. Yeah, Pastry Beats up today. It took Auntie Margaret down to Guernsey.
So you've forgotten my pie mix then?
Oh, no. I'm ever so sorry, Mr. Ron. My memory's not been so good since my mum put me back on the business.
Well, you better bring us 3 big mix boxes post-haste.
Yes, I'll be right over.
Oh, there you are.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Ron. I came as fast as I could. Ooh, nice.
It doesn't matter now. He's not for everyone. They send down to Big Roads where we've made our biggest pie yet. Big Road, how big is the pie? It's a pie so big, you could feed a family of 5 for 40 years. You'd still have enough for stuff there. It's a pie so big, you can't lost it. It's a pie so big, I am tradition it since I was a small boy. A pie so big that I've given it, I have decided.
Now, I know you told me before, but why can't you just, make your pies a bit bigger?
It's going all right job on getting fertilizer with Roger this stage.
Get your head down, lad. This goes bonkers. Rog, relax yourself. You're making a mess of the place. What the devil's gone into you, man? I never even mentioned your massive head. Look, it isn't massive. Right out loud, Rog. There's no shame in it. He's got as mad as a vampire on the
Oh, Sylvia, silent blue. I just got a big head and some massive belly.
What else feelings are posing the fates out?
Sorry, mister. It's company policy.
Never mind that, Wolf. I like it. I can't keep pretending anymore, Roger. It's just too big.
Ooh. It's just too big. Too big.
Now, extra large.
This is a family restaurant.
Too big. Too big.
Too big. Right then, Ross. I'll see you next week.
Y'all gonna get your shoe. No, Daddy want a shoe. You was being bad. You was running away. Why you keep calling? Huh? You can't do nothing with that. You wanna fight?
I'm glad that's over. I can't stand this for this.
sign of knock-off? Whatever. It's the meat in the bun, Megan, my guy. Oh, we need something real. Coming out. Six down. Perhaps with a D. Liquid refreshment. Go! I've never liked to look at clock at the face.
Oh, God.
I'm flicking it in my breath. Break me, beans, or break me down. Oh, well. Beans are on the whistle.
There you go.
Hey, my tree. I summoned my 6 goals back to me. Practice work. Go find them. Be right back.
Man, he sees the good in everyone.
Dear Elsie, looks like we just missed it. Right. I just can't catch a break.
Excellent work, Cabin Boy. You retrieved my finest lieutenant. There's a bright future ahead of you on this ship. Attention!
hang on a minute. These coasters are one way. Very strange. Get that.
So what's it all about then? Well, it follows the interpersonal dramas of the big characters, all of their affairs and betrayals and whatnot. It's pretty compelling. Not like this shit.
I'm gonna fuck that bullshit weed. I'm about to get some better weed as soon as I get my shit. What? How do I get that?
This is the fight you've been waiting for me to take. It's time to finally knock out Anthony Joshua.
Jake Paul's this been over a month since one of the main writers from the Attitude Era returned to professional wrestling with just one mission in mind: to beat Raw in the ratings. I'm the Hawk, and I've tasked myself with keeping up with his progress every 2 weeks. And it honestly hasn't taken long for everything to go horribly wrong. This is going to be painful to get through, really painful. You know how people like myself are often overly dramatic, calling stuff the worst ever show? Well, this is genuinely up there. I'm not even sure it even matters. But every 2 weeks I watch Juggalo Championship Wrestling on YouTube. Here is what I have learned. Number 1. Since Vince Russo's return, the ratings have genuinely improved on their show by about 5 times as much. They are still, unfortunately, around 2 million viewers behind Raw. Talking of 2, you can enjoy this show if you just go into it wanting a laugh, maybe a beer or a smoke or something like that. And 3, he has learned absolutely nothing. This show was all the worst parts of Vince Russo on one show combined. And I am not a Vince Russo hater. In fact, I can happily admit that I've enjoyed some of his work. But Vince, I'm disappointed in you. As somebody whose dream job it is to write wrestling storylines, I was hoping for a bit more effort from you, the guy who's supposed to be about giving everybody a storyline. Especially on the second show we're going to watch today. Terrible. You won't believe how much he's come back with a vengeance. If I added up his total screen time across the 2 episodes, it would be an hour. I was worried this would happen. Vince Russo should never be a character. He should stay in the background and concentrate on writing the show. But it's like he so desperately wants to be a star of the show. And yeah, he can cut a better promo than lots of people, I ain't denying that. Look, I've watched more Vince Russo shows than anybody else. He's still best when he isn't on screen. He hasn't learned his damn lesson. It's like he's deliberately trying to be as bad as possible. I wonder why. On that note, let's get into our shows. And here he is again, opening the show. He has the same entrance music from WCW. That depressing kind of drone which I associated with death. Also with him is Big Vito. He was in WCW and WWE and he wore a dress. Why do they look so depressed? Russo hands the mic to his best friend who heals on the crowd for a while, saying they need to wipe the white crap off their faces. I have seen some impressive Juggalo crowds. This is not one of them. Russo has to calm his friend down. Vince Russo was apparently upset last week when he got booed after being away from wrestling for 20 years. He starts telling a story again about how he was invited here to try and bring the company to the next level. Apparently, there were a lot of bids for this company to be the investor. Yeah, I believe him. I personally offered up my shiny Machoke Pokemon card, my Slapnuts wrestling doll, a packet of knickknacks, and a smack to the gut. Russo won the bidding though, and apparently Russo's real-life company is called Bro Sports and Entertainment. He wants the crowd to kiss his ass. Russo discusses who else nearly purchased this company. He says one of the options was the Saudis, who wouldn't have liked the Juggalos very much. The women wouldn't have even been allowed to watch the Juggalos. To be fair, the Hawks' enjoyment of analysing the crowd would have been spoiled if this had happened. I said analysing, not analysing. He also says the WWE almost brought it, and they didn't. Russo suddenly makes a bold statement as he says that he respects the crowd's loyalty. Russo suddenly makes a statement as he says he respects the crowd's loyalty to ICP, considering it's been 26 years now. Then he changes his mind and says the crowd are not enough to take this show forward. Big Vito wants to send the crowd out of the building and then charge them to come back in again. Russo says there will be some changes. He pretty much said all of this last week. Get on with it. This filming location is horrible. I'm sorry, it looks awful. Worst filming location by far for a JCW show. It's obviously just a cafe with random plastic sheets hung up all over, in case someone sprays in the building, I guess. His promo runs for about 10 minutes. The commentator for tonight is a man who looks like Jim Ross's twin, fell out of his ass. And the Blue Meanie. In the back, the cowboy James Storm is asked for his experiences in dealing with Vince Russo. Storm says he can be good, but he also has seen him be a complete fucking dickhead. He doesn't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing overall. Way to sit on the fence, cowboy. Yay, the sponsorships are back on the show, and it's a musical number. Unfortunately, she's actually good, and I can't make fun of her. She's a juggalo bitch, and she makes the boys itch. Her name is Destiny Toms. Not sure how much she got paid to get a song on this show, but the ICP missed the trick here. They should have given her an extra charge for a stupid name thing. But what kind of spelling is that? In the back, Russo tells Vito he is tired of his mafia gimmick. He says he needs to control himself because they are business people now. He says he's off for a bit for a meeting and Vito will be left in charge. Then, Russo points out that Vito was a dress gimmick once upon a time, but apparently Vince saved him from this and took him back to his roots. He warns Big Vito not to do anything stupid. Vito mutters to himself about time to beat up some crackheads. We are about a quarter of the way into the show. Vince Russo has been on the camera or been discussed for the entire show so far. He is such a main character. Talking of beating up crackheads, Vito bumps into Violent J. Violent J laughs about how Vito doesn't have any actual power in this company. Well, didn't Russo just put him in charge whilst he was away? So yeah, he does kind of have some temporary power. These two are going to explode with anger soon. They agree to fight in the car park after school finishes. I am now 17 and a half minutes into the show, and we see our very first wrestler making his way out. It's Ricky Morton. Quite interestingly, he's a bit of a different character to his NWA character. He's a bit more animated to JCW, and he's a bit more of a sleazy guy. In the NWA, I guess he's just a guy. He takes on Cowboy James Storm. He looks very happy to be here tonight, maybe he's just drunk. This is a rematch from a week ago. Storm quickly dominates and hits clothesline and a atomic drop. It's pure domination. Storm slingshots Morton into the ring, only to grab straight back out of the ring. On the outside, Morton
All the
randomly
fine
finds another.
departments tell them
He
all
smacks
time
Jake
for
Storm
themselves
and
stuck
then
in the
drops
well
him
again.
into a pin.
They'll know
Like
it's
a dumbass, he forgets to remove the belt, but the ref doesn't see it anyway. He should have gone to spectate. That's the three. Wow, it went 1 minute. This show has legitimately changed so much. There is a lot of hype now for the Blue Meanies podcast. Sounds like he's got his fat fingers in a lot of pies. He's eating a lot too. Violent J is restless in the back. Too Tough Tony tells him he needs to slow down. What's he on about? He's barely moving. Tony warns him he shouldn't fight Big Vito on the bike shit after school. Violent J pounds his chest and says gorilla mode. We've got another match now. It's the Matt Finn CrossFit taking on the Bad Wolves Metal. Gets a started with big spear into the ring, but no pin is made. This gets a completely unwarranted chant of JC Dunn. CrossFit stops his next move from the backbreaker. Cross misses his hands, cross back elbow in the corner as the ball hits him with smacks and a hurricane. Big kick from the apron now, and it's time to fly up across the ring for a 2 count. Comments keep saying Russo clearly doesn't care about the matches because he's off having secret meetings. They move on to talking about how Russo killed WCW and TNA. Almost wins again with a target knee strike. They got the top now with Boston front suplex. However, he can't hit the cross, and he does manage to crossbreak straight after. Well, that's the three.
It's happening right now. It's happening today. Blockchain, crypto. If change is happening in finance, then it's happening everywhere. And it's happening through.
You got me thinking there comes a point when you have to reassess.
There are things I do wrong that you don't know about.
Are you running to something or from something?
Crossline straight after. Well, that's the three. Another short match, perhaps 3 minutes. The length of matches have really come down since I've been reviewing this product. I haven't really decided how I feel about that yet. Big Vito is being a dick once again. He's phoning somebody and he asks if they've got the job done. Jasmine Sinclair prances into the office and starts removing her clothes straight away. Vito yells at her though and says her monsters keep letting him down. She calms him down by rubbing him. She asks if it's a gun in his pants or if he's just happy to see her. Vito confirms it's a gun and it shoots. Vito then drops the bombshell that he doesn't like this stuff. The BBL blonde girl wants a three-way with her. I am constantly worried that someone's going to burst through my door whilst I'm watching it. Caleb Conley is also here, desperate for a meeting with Vince Russo. Vito seems to be desperate for something else. Look, I love watching 50-year-old people get freaky as much as the next, but I guess it's better than Vito being an dress again. Imagine if they could somehow combine these two things. Vito asks him to take somebody else tonight, and then he might get a meeting with Vince Russo. What a segment. The next match will see the Iron Demon, Shane Mercer, and he's taking on Ninja Man. Happy to see Mercer, also happy to see a new person on this show. Mercer tries to power him down, but the Ninja Man wins him away. He can't manage to grab WrestleMania either. But now the Ninja moves off, breaking to an arm. They start going nuts and flipping everywhere. Now it's going to be Russo takes his man away. Shane has some bad hops actually, I wasn't really aware of this side of him. The Ninja does a backflip, walking into a clothesline routine. Mac escapes the suplex attempt now, but vultures into the base of the match stops for a moment. Mercer tries to finish him off with a top rope move, but now the Ninja is awake. He tries to palm off, but he can't manage his move either. Nice spinning uppercut from the Ninja Man. Mercer starts pulling up the smallest wrestling ramp I've ever seen. Pretty sure when the Lobster Crew arrived later tonight, that thing is going to come out. Mac tries to hit his crazy Ninja flip dive out to the ramp and gets caught, but there is a tombstone pile driver. I mean, they had to be pretty accurate to shot this tiny thing. Congratulations, that was awesome. That's the finish of the match, actually. It's funny that a lot of guys have been getting 10-minute matches for the last month are just losing quite quickly tonight. He is the Ginger Cursor. Not Sheamus, just Shane Mercer. The Lobster Crew are beating up Willie Mack in the toilet. Why is everyone always in the toilet on this show? Congo Kong does a flipping cannonball against the lavatory stool. Willie Mack is left crying in a pool full of piss on the floor. Caleb Conley and his crew walk out the biggest hero on this show, Stephen Flo. It's a 2-on-1 beatdown, this is not a match. Stephen Flo actually manages to take them both down. He climbs to the top, but takes too long and he's jerked off the top. It looks like he's in serious trouble here, but then, Cool Kane teleports into the ring with a baseball bat. Big Vito fired this crackhead. He devastates the heels of his bat. He wants to choke slam, but the ring rat jumps in. The whole building shakes 50 different directions as she is thrown to the mat. Cool Kane hits a double diving clothesline. I guess Caleb won't be getting a meeting with Vince Russo anytime soon. Now the Lobster Crew are beating up Too Tough Tony. At least they're not in a toilet this time. Apparently, this is so nobody can help Violent J in his playground fight tonight. Willie Mack wasn't even beaten up that badly though, but to be fair, Tony gets it worse, but Trolley crushing him against the wall. I now believe that this man will not be present for the fight tonight. Wow, the JCW Women's title will actually be on the line. The challenger is Katarina Cream, and the champion is Hollywood Hailey J. I wish she'd settle in a damn company for a bit so we could see a bit more of her consistency. Instead, she's more interested in getting power slams. The red girl jumps her before the bell. Hailey does a Ric Flair roll to stop her next move, but it doesn't really help her. Katarina Cream hits her with a running knee strike in the corner, and her teeth always snap in half and dumping in her nappy. Big spear now for Katrina Cream, that's a 2. Hailey now does manage to come back with some strikes and a crazy kicking leg sweep. The big running knee is more effective. Check out this pin. I really need Hailey J just to settle somewhere. Let's be able to watch her. Here's a character. Katrina Cream grabs a very long eyelash and heads out the ring. She fetches a chair, but the ref won't allow her. Eventually the ref wins the tug of war and Hailey J smashes her with a single kick. Hailey now gets the sock for the point. Big eyes, Alice Crowley grabs her sock away from her, but Hailey shoves the Cream and the prop into her and rolls her up to the 3. Well, that's the finish. That was certainly something. Big Eyes jumps her after the bell and guesses that's the next title match. The JCW Blast from Your Ass this week is from Legends and Icons. Well, that show was certainly badass. They decided to highlight the ECW match that they had. The War Machine was victorious in this one. That was the JCW Blast from Your Ass. Smells like shit, it probably was. Big Vito and Vampiro meet in a poorly lit corridor. Vampiro tries to kiss his ass and says he can help him fight Violent J. Vito says he doesn't need him and starts doing air punches. When he turns around, Vampiro has vanished. Spooky.
Forwarded to an automatic voice message system. Set the tone. Please report your message.
The main event match is a tag team title fatal 4-way. The Sinclair Lobster Crew, Mr. Happy and Congo Kong will face off with the Stinky and the Brain team and also the Zombie Twins. And finally, wow, the tag team champions are actually on the show this week. The Brothers of Fun Structure, Yabo and Ruffles and Clown. I remember seeing these guys on NWA 2 years or so back on that incredible Sound show. Not sure what Stinky and the Brain did to earn a tag title shot with them. Let's think about this logically. If Vito is annoyed at Jasmine Sinclair's monsters, why are they being reported here on a tag title shot? That doesn't make sense. You just had a segment where Vito was screaming and cussing them out. Here they are challenging the goal. So the storyline with the zombies is that Vito hates them and he keeps denying their manager a tag title shot. So why are they just randomly getting a tag title shot? Yeah, not good, Russo. I'm not saying the zombies don't deserve a shot. Hopefully they win it here anyway. Everybody seems to have it in the Stinky and the Brain. The Clowns hit them with a fun double team leg drop. The Lobster Crew are the next 2 to get battered. This is a pretty fun match. Stinky and the Brain come back, taking out the Clowns, double smacking the zombies out from behind. One of the zombies is destroyed in the corner and rolls the double. The double powerbomb gets a 2 count. Congo Congo returns the side slam, and Mr. Happy hits an elbow. The monsters pick up the mice, but I guess they can't be bothered to slam them without any sort of authority. The match seems to completely stop now, no idea why. Eventually, the zombies bite out of the double choke slam with double bad breath, but the hammer misses them. They decide to throw themselves out of the ring, but they fail and run into clothesline. The zombies retaliate by going down. They hit their double team finish with Stinky, but one of the Clowns breaks up the neck. They put a zombie in the tree road, but can't do anything. Busted and the Brain return. Then the Clowns just launch them into each other and roll them both up. Well, it felt like they tried to keep the Clowns and the zombies separate away from each other here as much as possible, so I think that's where we're heading next. Whack Kid makes his long way and returns to the channel. Of course, his new chart-topping single, famous for such incredible lines as "Back it up, whack it up, it's your chance, make it dance, with no hands. Make it clap, 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 I want that pussy, in my lap, lap, lap. Whack Kid, back it up out this Christmas. Give your mum the ultimate present this winter, which truly explains how you feel about her. Also featuring Soulja Boy, who remembers that guy. Whack Kid, smack it up. Head in for number 1 this Christmas. All that's left is the fight by the bike sheds. Violent J is desperately shadowboxing. Everybody is gathered outside in the street to witness this incredible spectacle. Hilariously, he walks up and just canes Vito in the back like a complete pussy. He's meant to be a face, by the way. Vito gets destroyed for a bit before Vince Russo stops him. Russo asks him if he runs this place or if he's one of the boys. Russo then relieves himself all over Vito. Russo reveals that he has a 51% ownership of this company, so he can do whatever he wants to Violent J. Why is Russo obsessed with power struggle storylines? It's been about 6 shows, and Russo has now officially stolen a wrestling company from his owner. I'm sorry, I can't. It's like Russo is desperate to live up to every single stereotype and label he's ever been given with this show. Let's watch one more to see where we're headed next. I hate to think about it. By the way, this next show is entitled Attitude Adjustment. Of course it is. This one starts out with Violent J screaming and swearing at Russo. He fights him, and then they yell about who has the power in this company. Russo says his lawyers should have read the fine print of the contract. It's their fault that Russo now owns this company. Vince Russo reminds Violent J he's now just a wrestler. Wrestlers can't be bookers, and he starts listing failures who have been wrestlers and bookers at the same time. He name drops Slapnuts, Dusty Rhodes, Ric Flair, and Triple H. Russo says he's fucked over Violent J for his own good. The arena frankly looks a lot better this week. It's actually really nice. Russo is welcomed down to start the show as usual. Remember when I was worried that he would become too much of a character on these shows? Yeah, he's all over the place. This guy's ego is out of control. Of course, Vito is with him. He's not wearing a crown. Vito, as usual, is disgusted by the clown makeup. The crowd are frantically chanting fuck you, Russo. Russo responds saying he can't be bothered to insult the crowd because he doesn't need cheap heat. He reminds the crowd Violent J no longer has any power. He says there will be no more commissioners because this is not Gotham City. Instead, he wants to hire a showrunner. What's the difference? What a waste of time that is. The crowd are trying to yell over him with anger. Russo moves on to talk about Violent J's history as a wrestler. Nobody cares. It was 2 decades ago. This is worse than I thought. He goes on and on. It's now gone on for longer than the opening promo from the start of the last show. Don't get me wrong, I agree with Russo on lots of stuff, but this guy should not be an on-screen character. He thinks he's a star. Here we go. He starts going on a shoot on Triple H now. He says Triple H used to be a wrestler, so this meant he has an agenda where he likes and dislikes certain wrestlers in the WWE. Russo asks why Karrion Kross isn't in the WWE. I'm not watching this to hear about the WWE. I couldn't give two squirts of piss why Karrion Kross isn't or isn't in the WWE. For a guy who apparently hates WWE so much, sure knows a lot about them. He thinks that Triple H got rid of Karrion Kross because he thought he would be a bigger star than the game. He invites him and Scarlett Holdo to join JCW. Well, he hasn't changed one bit. This truly is the Vince Russo show. They should rename this show RCW, Russo Championship.
Your Dr. Pine is going with a big pie, man.
The Ninja Mac versus Suicide. Wait, he's got back to being the life taker from TNA once again, and the third man is Shane Mercer, the Cursor. Mercer quickly spears the 2 masked idiots together in the corner, and then he double back suplexes them together. Mercer is dominating until the Life Taker scissors him across the ropes. Life Taker and Ninja Mac triple the pace. The Life Taker tries to take his own life to dive out of the ring. Mercer stops his next dive and sends him into the floor. Mercer gets back to the ring and presses the Dark Side out of the ring onto the Ninja Mac. The crowd seems to spend the entire match discussing if Russo is good or bad for business. Huge overhead from Shane Mercer. Life Taker smashes him down with a gut punch. Ninja Mac super kicks him down and then does his crazy ninja dive out of the ring into Mercer.
There is nobody in the room who's a better gift giver than me. But you know, there's no gatekeeping around here. I'm telling you right now, for anybody that needs some extra love during the holidays, check out the Google Holiday 100 to unwrap the holidays with this year's top trending gifts.
It doesn't keep Mercer away for long, and he comes back throwing one last one with a moonsault slam. Ninja immediately bounces down and beats him, Canadian Destroyer. Okay, thought Mercer was winning this one. Ninja Mac seems to have been losing a lot lately, so that win kind of came out of the blue, right? Vince Russo is in the bag, complaining that there's too many guns coming off it. Vito laughs at him behind a concession desk instead of at an office. Russo starts moaning about
Why don't you head down to Greyshires and pick us up some spirit level bubbles?
Be busy tonight, trying to find out who's going to take Violent J's spot on the showrunner. Why do we need someone?
How does that sound?
We already have Vince Russo on this show.
There you go.
Then we have Violent J. We also have the other clown whenever he turns up. So that's 4 people who could potentially be. Sorry, it's ridiculous. We don't need anyone else. That's enough. Cowboy James Storm walks up asking for beer. James Storm says nothing has changed with Vince Russo. You've got that right. He also complains that he's been booked in a coal miner's glove on a pole match tonight. Russo says pole matches are a draw, bro. Storm asks him about the blindfold match in the cage in TNA that Russo booked. Russo admits he regrets that. He begs James Storm to ratings tonight and he hands him a beer and says it would be better if he's drunk. Six-man tag is up next. Stinky and the Brain team up in the CrossFit outfit and they will take on Metal with the brothers of Fun Destruction. The heels up the Irish whip together and hit with a triple shuffleball smacky one. One of the clowns blows up a balloon, but one of the heels clears the balloon away. Such a heel move. He gets smashed with a atomic roll. The heels come out and apparently, one is a genius and the other is insane. I still have no idea who's supposed to be who. Because they both act like the same guy. Generic bland jobber. I've no idea what any of this even has to do with the cartoon Pinky in the Brain. It's like if the Hawk changed his gimmick to do a Powerpuff Girls gimmick, but then I did absolutely nothing to promote that gimmick. And no, I'm not going to show you an example of how the Hawk would look dressed as a Powerpuff Girl, because it's not in the damn budget. We're watching JCW lunacy, for fuck's sake. The CrossFit smashes a clown with a crosswalk. He doesn't laugh and hits a standing cross song. Stinky in the Brain, aka two random bland jobbers, won't stop double teaming. Win it. The clowns eventually kick them down and inflate a balloon. Inflating this balloon seems to fire him up, and he pops and opens it up.
Much better,
Metal
Bessie.
attack is pretty good.
Just
Yummy the
in
clown
time too.
tickles a jobber with a rubber chicken. The clowns then hit a Russian leg sweep big free combination. Metals does a frog splash
Well, I
and an
hope we
old
find the
version of a
person,
clown.
okay?
The pin is broken up. Another attempt at the
Anyway,
chicken is
what was
stopped.
the guy
So
with
many
the
false
heels?
finishes in this match.
The
I will
house
admit,
with the
this is a
blue
fun match.
girl.
One of the jobbers tries a swanton bomb but dives into a clown's waiting knees instead. Jeff and Shannon would not be happy about that. But straight after, the CrossFit hits a shooting star on the clown
You
with the
do it,
match.
Bessie.
Had no idea which way that match was going. This was my favourite match since starting to watch JCW. In the back, a security guard walks up to meet Vince Russo. They've made him deliberately walk like Vince McMahon, and Russo's very impressed by this. Actually, Mosh Pit Mike, the man who likes to do all the gimmicks. He wants to be the new showrunner. To be fair, I could see him doing that, but give it to him. I've enjoyed his blood sickness. Russo tells him he needs to work out a bit. Russo then doesn't like the fact that he's wearing a suit. The suits are about money, greed, lying, and politics. Calm down, Russo, just time to wear something different. Time for a miner's glove on a pole match. I haven't seen a pole match in a while. Wait, is Harry Potter James Storm the third week in a row? Well, I guess this is best of three decided. Hopefully the pole can stay up this time. Harry Potter is scared of James Storm, so he dumps his napkin beer and wraps around the ring. Storm catches the ring. Storm is the best of both of them. Makes him pull his nutsack. Morton slowly works him over. On the outside, Morton brings Storm forward. Kerry Morton says, I am a real southern motherfucker. That seems to wake Storm up, and he hits a DDT and I guess a 2 count. Right, so apparently it's in the rules that the finish doesn't actually have to involve the coal miner's glove on the pole. So in that case, what is the point in the gimmick, please tell me? James Storm misses a splash, Morton smashes him down with a knee for his own tip. Kerry Morton then remembers that the glove exists on a pole, now he wants it. He gets the glove on his first attempt. Man, this glove is huge. It looks like a Hulk hand, I'm getting New Jack flashbacks. He can't smack Storm on anyway, instead, Storm makes him smack himself on. Should have smacked him in the gut though, that's the three. I guess Storm wins this series. Too Tough Tony and Willie Mack, the Corridor crew, are out for revenge. They run into Russo behind his stupid death. Too Tough Tony is upset about Violent J losing his job. Why do they have to keep calling him Joe instead of Violent J? Man, if you hate Russo, this show would be impossible for you to get through with the amount of mic time he's had. As usual, Russo isn't scared of the wrestlers. Tony demands a match tonight against the Lobster crew. Russo says he's going to do it one better, and get a load of this, completely no reason at all. If they can beat the Jasmine St. Clair Monster crew, Jasmine St. Clair must strip. I mean, she's like 60 years old. I don't want to see that. That isn't a hope to get people to stick around. Why don't you change the channel? Wouldn't it have made more sense to do it with that blonde BBL chick? I don't want to see a girl in her 70s stripping. I don't know, maybe the demographic target audience here is 70 years old for this show, then it would make perfect sense. God, this show makes me feel young. Stephen Flo and Cocaine are where else? They're in the slash zone. Because everyone on this show is always in the toilet, I think it's an analogy about the show itself. Cocaine is worried that they will be drug tested soon. Stephen Flo says they know how to get around that. Then Big Vito emerges from a cubicle. He hangs up his hat and says he has caught him about to break the rules. Cocaine hilariously uppercuts him. Vito comes back with his own gut punches. He leaves Kane lying in a pool of piss on the floor and says you've got the test in 5 minutes. The test doesn't make it onto the rest of the show. This is by far the happiest segment across the two shows. The tag matches now. It's Caleb Conley and Ash Jeeves taking on Coop Kane and Stephen Flo, but they're not here. Caleb gets the mic and calls them both pussies. In the end, Stephen Flo runs out on his own. What a brave hero. Basically, Stephen Flo actually wins this match in about 1 minute when Jeeves smacks out his own guy by mistake and then gets rolled up. They definitely won't be meeting for the choice anytime. Man, I wonder what size nappy that chick was. She considers striking Jeeves, but then Caleb does it himself. Outside the toilet block. This is so deliberate. It's as bad as the NWA of the lack of filming locations. Russo screams at Big Vito for getting physically involved yet again. Vito says they were getting out of line by doing crack, but he's really sorry now. Russo says, shove your sorry up my ass. He's had quite the rough day. He's now worried about his blood pressure. Violet J laughs at him. It's time for the JCW.
They say I'm unproven, that I talk big and fight small.
It's time for America to see real power. Who's still talking when this right hand flies?
Violet J laughs at him. It's time for the JCW Blast from Your Ass. This week is a triple threat between Congo Kong, Willie Mack and Jeff Hardy. This one seems a lot more recent than the other matches. Jeff Hardy at JCW makes perfect sense. Shockingly, Congo Kong beat Jeff Hardy with a giant belly flop. That was the JCW Blast from Your Ass. Big Vito is walking down the corridor, complaining about crackheads when the zombies get his scent and chase him. They're about to break them apart when the zombies manager stops them. He says the time is running out to give them a tag title shot. Didn't they just get one? They could have win. For some reason, Vito is desperate to get into an electrical cupboard. When he makes his way inside, Vampiro is there waiting for him. Vampiro reminds Vito he is either with him or against him. Vito rants to himself about how annoying this roster is, and when he turns around, Vampiro has vanished as usual. What, is he a ghost or something then? Angelina loves Daddy must be. What is he even trying to do in this electric cupboard? The crowd barely react when they're told that Jasmine St. Clair will have to strip if her team lose. I bet she thought the days of having to do this sort of stuff were in the rear view. So the Lobster Crew will take on the Big Mac, Willie Mack, and his partner, the JCW champion. The man who's never able to leave no matter how hard he tries, and night he cries. The only man whose wrestling attire doubles as pajamas. From any random street in any random town representing farmers. He's the man with the Bacardi Breezer, the man whose dick is so big your lady will have a seizure. He's twice as tough as you and your dad could find. The only man who can instantly devalue a shirt when he signs. Too tough, motherfucking Tony. He bribes you to be his homie. Tony thinks that one man wants a picture of him, but he's wrong. I legit think Tony's entrance is one of the most endearing parts of this show. I can't wait to see him turn heel for no reason. The comments team discussing this stipulation tonight is ethical. One says let's bring back 1999. The other says women's wrestlers have made incredible strides and they've moved past nappy matches. Tony hits the AJ Styles Pele kick and the Tony song. I have to admit, he has sort of grown on me. It just kind of works on a show like this. Here comes the Big Mac. They hit double elbow drops for it too. Now Congo Kong and Willie Mack will fight. Congo hits a belly to belly. That's a lot of belly. And the Happy also hits an elbow drop. Do you think the Monsters could possibly care about the stipulation here? Well, to be fair, they double suplex Congo Kong with it. The fight heads out of the ring. Jasmine St. Clair comes in the ring but canes her own guy by mistake. She gets shoved out. Willie Mack hits a Stone Cold Stunner on Mr. Happy, who doesn't go down. Tony then sets his hand on fire and smacks him one. That's the three. Oh no. Tony won't let Jasmine St. Clair run away. They play arousing music over the system as the comments team ask if she's got a nappy on under them. Tony and Mac dance with happiness. Jasmine starts to get into it. There goes her arm holder. Oh no. The Monsters jump Mac and Tony. Don't you just love it when Russo shows never go through stipulations? Well, in this case, I'm going to make an allowance and say thank God for that. The Monsters hit double cannonballs in the corner. Poor Mac and Tony. They just wanted to see their first ever nipples live in the flesh. Violet J is close to tears in the back. He says losing JCW is like losing a child. Big Vito shouts, "Oh look, a crackhead. I can't stand you," and rushes him as the show goes off the air. Russo, and I know why you're doing this. You want people to tune in for the shock value of you doing stuff in the 90s. Then you're going to build up some serious stuff using your abilities like. The problem is, people are going to see this show, and then they won't come back. What happened to everybody had their own storyline under Russo? The only storyline on this show is Russo and to a lesser extent Crackheads. But everything revolves around Russo. It honestly feels like we're watching TNA. We've got a company being stolen, girls being called rats, pole matches, stipulations, 3 3 or 4 authority figures, Russo in almost every segment, 15-minute opening promos, constant talk of things from WCW, WWE, and TNA, shots at other companies for no reason. Everybody is at least 50 years old. Every segment is shot in or outside a toilet. I have no problem with storylines. I love storylines. But when every storyline centers around a non-wrestler doing a power struggle for the 50th time of his career, man, I don't follow internet trends, and I don't hate on Russo because everybody else does. I can happily admit I have enjoyed parts of his career. I'm trying to be fair, but this show was bad. And I think it was done deliberately. There is no way he sat around for 15 years and then wrote this. He did not think this was exceptional telly. No, instead he thought this will get them talking. Will it work? Only time will tell.
What if your earbuds made checking notifications a piece of cake?
Give me the latest on the group chat.
Rose asked what to bring. Meg said single friends. Jen said I think she meant food.
The new Super Bowl 2000, and now this time I'm diving into a show I've never looked at all the way before, and now I kind of regret having done that, as we are looking at WCW's Great American Bash 2000 from June 11th at the Baltimore Arena in Baltimore, Maryland. The show was nominated by Michael Lee, Ron Gleason, Glenn Thompson, Hawk 494 Edward, CJ Haas, and Jason Young over at patreon.com/wrestling with regret. A lot has taken place not just since my Super Bowl recap, but just in the month since the last show was Time I covered back at Slamboree 2000. David Arquette screwed his supposed friend DDP to help Jeff Jarrett regain the WCW Championship, and then right afterward, Mike Awesome threw Canyon off the triple-decker cage and onto the ramp below just as the show was about to go off the air. It was considered pretty tasteless at the time because it was the first wrestling show back in the Kemper Arena since Owen Hart's passing the previous year. But as the year goes on here, there are other things and other similarly ridiculous stuff at the same time as the Canyon stuff was. The news is not too bad. Goldberg is back with his big arm injury he suffered when he punched out a limousine window. In the weeks leading up to his return, we can see the Goldberg monster trucks stuck in the parking lot areas every week, occasionally crushing cars. It was a really big day. Fans were really hyped to see that Goldberg monster truck. They were very excited to see him come back from injury and take on the new blood after all this time of them running roughshod. Goldberg finally does return to TV. He comes back, kills Tank Abbott in his return match, and is back on his merry way. He aligned himself with Kevin Nash in his war against the new blood, and of course Bischoff and Russo doing everything they can to keep Goldberg away, to the point where on the go-home they suspended Goldberg and arrested him, and they actually open up this show with the recap of what happened, and the big question is Goldberg going to show up? Damn, I mean, he was suspended and arrested, so it's kind of a double whammy. I don't know, guys. The show earned 85,000 pay-per-view buys. It's up from 65,000 the previous month, Slamboree, but down 100,000 buys from the previous year. Just a hair over 7,000 in the arena on this night. Tony Schiavone, Mark Madden, and Scott Hudson are on the call for this one. And we open with a match for the Cruiserweight Championship as Lieutenant Loco, a.k.a. Chavo Guerrero of the Misfits in Action, takes on a Disco Inferno of the Filthy Animals. What a wild ride the Cruiserweight Championship has been on in the year 2000 especially, but just in the last few weeks or so, because several weeks ago it was Crowbar and Daphne who beat Chris Candido for the title in a mixed tag team matchup involving Tammy Sitch, and then Daphne beat Crowbar outright to become the Cruiserweight Champion for a little bit. Then she lost in the triple threat match on Nitro to Lieutenant Loco, but she wasn't the one who got pinned. So anyway, Chavo brings out what looks to be a grenade, but they say immediately it's a toy. Then Loco says, "If you mess with me, I'll kill ya." Yes, the more charismatic of the Guerreros. So when we last saw the Disco Inferno on this channel in Super Bowl 2000, he was just beginning his partnership with the Mamalukes, and by this point it's dissolved because one night on Nitro, Disco just came up to Eric Bischoff and said, I don't want to manage the Mamalukes anymore. I want to hang out with my friends. And Bischoff was like, okay. Now he's aligned with Conan and Rey Mysterio and Juventud Guerrera as part of the Filthy Animals. And by the way, I love Juventud at this point right now. It's so stupid and annoying, but I also can't stop laughing at it when Juvi is pretending to be The Rock, where he just up and stolen his shtick, where he's opening up his matches for going, finally, the juice is back too. And he's just the name of the town. And so it's just, it's very corny, but I can't laugh at it. But if you can believe it, it's Disco who's the huge dork in this group. He is definitely the odd man out of the Animals. And there's way too many people in ringside, which seems to be the case every time you see the Misfits and the Filthy Animals colliding in some fashion. It's confusing because at this point in the year, Filthy Animals are heels, part of the New Blood, and the Misfits in Action are faces, kind of separated from them, but like you really can't tell who's a face and who's a heel in this matchup because they're all kind of acting the same. Disco launching Loco into the rope early on, does a little dance. Loco with a head scissor to the outside of the ring. Disco's beaten up by the Misfits, and the Filthy Animals don't do anything about that. Disco is just repeatedly outmaneuvered. Nice dive by Chavo to the outside. Disco catches him. Conan is going to falls over. Tony cannot keep the names of the Misfits straight because, you know, all the different rankings and stuff. He calls like Corporal Cajun, Captain Cajun, and he got Private/Major Stash confused. I mean, that is only a recent development that he changed the name. Disco with an axe handle from the second rope. Then in comes a silly old man in a military uniform. Great. Another character. Apparently we saw him like 6 or 7 months ago on WCW programming, and then he just goes away for a while, and he comes back to TV just last week, and they're like, remember him? He immediately starts hitting on Tigress, and K-Dog shoves the old man down. The Misfits get really upset. The referee is distracted. Juvi hits a reverse DDT. He goes for the Juvi elbow and misses. Last dance by Disco. Corporal Cajun comes in and drops him as the ref tries not to look. He puts Chavo on top of Disco right in front of the referee, and we get a 3 count. Turns into this big brawl. The Misfits are left laying. Major Guns has no choice but to revive the old man by first tearing her top off and giving him mouth-to-mouth. Ooh. And wouldn't you know it, the old man is a creep. I give it 1.5 stars out of 5. Not a great way to start the show. And I know that, you know, both guys can deliver a better match than this. We've seen a better Disco Inferno match on the review than this. And so it was just too chaotic. It was too much of a cluster with all these different bodies together. It's just mad chaos and confusion. And the thing with the old man that confuses me is I'm pretty sure that they later reveal that the old man is General Rection, Hugh Morris's father. But it's so funny because, like, he does not give off that impression that he's, like, protective of the old man in any way in this segment, even though, like, the announcers call him Pops. But I think, like, they only reveal later that he actually is Hugh Morris's dad, but you'd think he would be a bit more protective of him. Seems pretty ambivalent about it in this segment. It makes me feel like maybe at the time, even they didn't know that's what the payoff was going to be. Backstage, Eric Bischoff is with his lackey, the cat Ernest Miller. The cops tell Bischoff there's nothing to worry about, and Bischoff says nothing will stop them from making their big, earth-shattering, industry-changing announcement. By the way, I know that I said Super Bowl review that James Brown segment was kind of the way that Cat became a babyface, but I forgot this whole moment where he becomes, you know, a heel for a long time as part of the New Blood. We're in the promo zone, and Mean Gene Okerlund's with the Mamalukes. Vito says he's not sweating anything because he's the hardcore champion. Meanwhile, Gene says, is it Johnny the Bull the champion? They leave. There's some kind of tension there. And Gene with a great ad-lib as the segment ends. Hey!
It's happening right now. It's happening to me. It's happening with blockchain, crypto, customers and suppliers and making real-time savings around the world.
As the segment ends. So yes, the hardcore hierarchy at WCW has changed drastically just in the last few weeks. The big storyline for the first couple of months of the New Blood angle was that Terry Funk was the hardcore champion, and Bischoff tried everything to get the belt on him. Finally, on episode 19,
What 250?
Gave him my card about I said, if you don't have enough to give me the soda, then you said 250. So play, but able to get solo with the club this season. He can't get like $2.
This is Pete Hudson's like, they're going for the high time. That fantastic double team maneuver. They're softening him up for it. Oh, brilliant. Vito is damn near spiked on a fireman's carry. You're doing great, Buster. Good work. Which is probably why.
Oh, gosh. Oh, there's another one going down the road.
Behind him, Johnny Foles, crap is happening. God bless him. He is strong. He recovers from a body. The high time to Johnny as Vito remains totally unaware and Chronic wins. I give it 1.5 stars out of 5. I mean, the match had a couple of in it, but it was get the Marvel over as idiots, I guess, or so Chronic as future tag title contenders. But there you go. The new interview lady, Pamela Paulshock, is from Promo Zone interviewing Diamond Dallas Page. He's going to face Mike Austin, who once again calls an ambulance match. And she tells him that Austin says he's going to end his career. Well, they're all going to start somewhere. I just wonder if Pamela ever finished. DDP says he doesn't find that Mike Austin is the career killer. He's got a warning for his soon-to-be bitch ex-wife. And he says he's got some motivation, inspiration, and, good God, stimulation coming special for Austin. We're going to go to the ambulance match now as Mike Austin takes on DDP. As I mentioned last month at Slamboree, Austin further affirming his career killer status by throwing Kenyon off of the cage and it put Kenyon in the hospital. He's got this big neck halo. The first scene they show you on the Nitro after Slamboree is the moment in the hospital where DDP is like checking on him, and then the new blood comes in and they come up behind a curtain and they attack and they lay everyone out. It's hilarious, but it's all part of DDP's ongoing war with the new blood. In particular, his wife Kimberly betrayed him in the main event at Spring Stampede, and so really Kim is now this very annoying, kind of obnoxious heel character, and doesn't really have a lot of redeeming qualities other than being an obnoxious character, but she doesn't really ever get hers in this storyline, which is kind of a running theme with most of people who have these sort of positions in the New Blood storyline. Kind of a pattern. DDP bringing Kenyon out to the stage for moral support. He and Awesome brawl to start things off. The referee is laid out within seconds. We get some chair fighting like samurai warriors, according to Shivani. Page punching a chair into Mike's face. Awesome comes back. He produces a table from under the ring, then hits his bomb to Page through it. Then we get the EMTs at ringside. They pick DDP up and put him on the gurney, and they roll DDP off. I hate this rule in WCW. I feel like I saw this in another kind of stretcher-type matchup recently with them, where it's like, oh, the referees are the ones who do the dirty work. Why? It's the wrestler's job. Awesome hitting one top rope splash, then another. He teases the third one with some chairs as Kenyon looks on. He goes up top. DDP shimmies real quick. I wonder if he'll move. Sure enough, he does. Then out comes Kimberly. She runs to the ring and smacks DDP in the back with a big floppy rubber lead pipe. Out comes Miss Hancock, who's been having issues with Kim lately, and she drags her to the back. They fight their way to the top rope. DDP hitting the diamond cutter off the top. Mike is loaded onto the stretcher. When Eric Bischoff appears, he looks to threaten Kenyon with a chair. DDP decks him, but then Kenyon gets up from his wheelchair and attacks Page. Diamond cutter off the stage and onto the floor. Camera kind of misses it, and Kenyon's totally fine as he reveals a new blood shirt. Helps load DDP onto the stretcher and into the ambulance as Bischoff's theme continues to play throughout all of this. Awesome wins. We give it 3 stars out of 5. It's actually one of the better matches on this show. I think it had the best pacing and some good intensity. I just hated the Kenyon turn at the end because this is during a time period where a lot of people just get swerved, they turn heel. usually just for the reaction, even if it doesn't help things. Because at a time when too many people are doing that, a character that definitely shouldn't have done that, or organized differently at least, because they really couldn't keep their story straight. Because after the pay-per-view, they're like, well, wait a minute, like, was Canyon brainwashed? Like, Eric Bischoff was really hurt, and then Bischoff got
You got your key?
dead, or did he fake the injury the whole time? And it was all planned from the beginning before. Really kind of
See? For the car? Put in your water, Keisha, for fucking Steve found you.
I was faking that injury, and also, by the way, Bischoff told me if I wanted to be a star,
You'd have been in that store looking crazy.
so they're doing both then. And it's just like,
Oh, somebody cooked it.
yeah, it really makes the whole
Oh,
impact of
cooked.
what happened at Slavery meaningless, because you're just telling everyone, hey, everyone, you already know this is fake. Now we're telling you this is absolutely fake because he's totally fine. He faked the whole thing. He's hunky-dory. So then nothing matters. Stay tuned for later in this show. Up next, a boot camp match. That's Last Man Standing. As G.I. Bro, Misfits in Action, takes on Perfection, Sean Stasiak, one half of the tag team champions. Now, for these shows that I review, I always try to like due diligence. I always try to watch, at least a month out of television programming in the bill, so I can kind of get the context and everything. But despite that, I still don't know why G.I. Bro and Sean Stasiak are fighting here, or why the tag titles aren't even on the line, because Sean and Chuck Palumbo won the belts like a week or two ago. Those aren't even in the conversation here. Why is this match happening? I don't know. And oh man, look at Booker T rappel down that zip line. He's got to do a little bit of scooting, a little bit of swinging to finish getting down there. Come on, oh, there you go. Sean Stasiak wearing some war paint of his own and wearing nearly identical pants to his opponent. He's got a mic on the stage, but I can barely hear him because the crickets, or the cicadas, or the birds are just too loud.
Is that it? What's Chris trying to do? Hang on. What's that Sean Stasiak?
Take a good look. I would have real, what should I say, perfect soldier of fortune should look like. G.I. Bro's on fire in the early going, leaping back slap on the outside off the apron. My God, they're brawling into the crowd for a second. Booker hitting an awful chair shot to the head, and the fans booing. Booker just goes, ah, a lot. Stasiak is busted open, but he avoids the 10 count by the referee. He cuts off Booker after the corner punches. I guess rope breaks are a thing in a boot camp match. On the outside, big suplex by Stasiak onto the steel ramp. Not enough to keep Booker down. And in fact, there's a lot that cannot keep the G.I. Bro down. He gets up like a lot, like at 8 and 9 on these, and it just goes on and on. It's very one-sided. Booker's getting his ass kicked a long time in this matchup. And the fans begin to get restless. The boring chants have begun. Uh-oh. Booker finally fires back up. Hits a well-timed counter into the bookend. Bro climbs the turnbuckle as Stasiak slowly gets up. We get a missile drop kick. Out comes Chuck Palumbo with the Lex Flexor. He's thwarted at first, but Stasiak gets a big low blow with it. Booker is still getting up as the announcers once again have to remind the fans of the relaxed rules in WCW, which is why you see so many low blows and outside interference and weapons going unchallenged by the refs. Anyway, Booker somehow fights the odds and lays them out. He KOs Stasiak with the Lex Flexor. Sean is out and G.I. Bro wins. I give it 2 stars out of 5. I thought the match was okay. It just ran a bit too long. I think the fans also could sense at a certain point that enough was enough. Booker looks strong as hell in this, in the way he just kept coming back and everything. I guess in hindsight, it really goes a long way in building him up as a world title contender in a month's time. But I've never liked the booking trope, no matter who does it, of one wrestler beating up your tag team champions all by themselves. That just never sat well with me. Kind of a silly match, and yeah, it's just crazy to think that like Booker's going to shed the G.I. Bro thing very soon after this very failed experiment, and just kind of beat Booker T again and suddenly be in the main event. We're in the locker room. We see Canyon digging through DDP's bag. Mean Gene shows up and asks him why he did what he did. And Kenyon says nobody showed up to the hospital more than Eric Bischoff. And again, goes into a thing about how Bischoff told him to be a star and everything. Again, kind of contradicting all the storytelling we're doing at this point. And Kenyon's like, you know, I was told I got to take out DDP, and that's exactly what I did. I took out DDP. And then Gina's like, well, actually, Kenyon, we have this footage to show you of DDP not taken out. He's up on his own feet being carried out. And then in the background, we see the Goldberg monster truck. Ooh, so we're planting the seed for that. But meanwhile, Kenyon's like, well, I'm not just sure that I took DDP out. I'm positive. I'm positively Kenyon. This is the beginning of the positively Kenyon angle, which is actually really hilarious. But you've also made Kenyon look like a complete idiot because he just said he took a guy out, and then they show footage of it not being the case, and he's just like, nope.
Welcome back to another episode of Warren Cali. In this episode, I will detail a story of how 5 different Lane Bloods and associates were murdered. The Bloods and Crips formation, like previously mentioned in countless episodes, began in the 70s. One of the gangs formed in that era was the Denver Lane Bloods, who started on the west side of South Central and later adopted the Blood identity like many other gangs. The Denver Lanes would be early rivals of several Crip gangs, making them be outnumbered on all ends. The Denver Lanes were a gang that stood the test of time, though, managing to never lose their hood.
Oh dear, it's really hot. Please look around for 6 o'clock.
Forget my clock will match this ball. We need to knock it down the hall.
You got fine. The view stand and help this night like rusty bread.
Spin my right round and round, until my reach is round.
I think it's still a little rough. Not the sticks out to the top.
Where have you been, lad? Can't you see? There's 40 holes and one of me.
Jerry, it's a proper side. Move the handle left and right.
Spin quickly is the key to every security.
We all sit down to it. Lock the box. It would be.
Now then, lad, my guns, but for 30 holes you need to go.
Now then, so we do it right, left and right.
We didn't try to make it snappy. English people every recipe.
And little jams melt with this, each fish.
Well, complete every trick. I just don't see you on this next one.
Okay, now you're putting it too long. It's too much sugar on your nose. That's it, don't mind the hot sauce. Now help me to big tackles off. A woman's work is never done. Free at the bar. Let's bring you silly sauce. Chippy's it's your job.
I will not just have a Mr. Store of the world.
Look at this. I'm all full face. I'll watch this next one. You're off the first.
and you'll cut them off. You always run out of stuff. Oh, never mind, little bit.
Help me keep the crime at bay. I help me stroking every day.
Really did make it quick.
Spin it round and make it stick.
Coming up the big thing.
Get that to with hold the stick.
Smash the bread and make it thin.
Careful down there, Richie. That's it, you'll bash that bloke.
Won't you give my dog a stroke?
Spin it, let's see what I've got.
Push it till we both fall. You know hear what we both said?
Bash that hole until it's dead.
Cut straight through that lovely grass.
I don't feel sure for moving much. Oh, bash your day, keep spelling sound.
I thought the cutest dog in town.
You fish on to.
What's the matter, feeling blue? Please don't stop your love clock.
Give that master pole a knock.
I love these nice, you can't tell.
My arm is in this women's thing. Smash me up and back into me.
Stay on this bed right here.
Help us with the sticky claw. I think I need to claw.
Hang on, why is it being so?
Oh, Reggie's quite a wow.
Now we've been overload.
And it's flying down the road.
Look, get off, look, fish.
Who taught you to drive all this?
It looks like rubbish on the shores. You need to chop some more, of course.
Easy now, let's keep it simple.
Look at little Reggie dribble.
Now I'll come back here tonight.
And it's flying like a cat.
You'll be Nile.
Or just got wrong with the cup.
Well, we'll try these fishing cats. We'll put them in the frying next.
How much up did you get there?
I put a dog beyond your hand.
Oh, but it is like my own friend.
And it's spinning round the bend. It's a look at really run.
Pop the ball, he's in our hole. He's nearly dead.
Joyce dead. Smash that box. Smash his toe. His job is good for you. I'm the little elf. Little voice. Stay with us. Don't sticky. Sticky toe.
Get it, up it, make it start. You're on the right, get knocked down.
Chop and miss your blood comes down. I miss my dad. I miss my mum. In your tummy. Yum. I love the smashy funky sound.
Don't be queen now, stick around.
Fix the cloth. Fix the cloth.
Pop the ball, pop the ball. Push the head, push the head. Pick the gun, like the back.
Eat it up. Eat it up. Find the nail. Find the nail.
Pick the ball, press the ball. Okay, fix the ball.
There you are, Lovey. You'll be ready for your now to try the bobby.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. And on this episode, I'm going to be talking about a movie that has one of the most misleading titles I've ever seen. It's American Commando Ninja, apparently. I don't know. Now, before I begin, I want to say congratulations to Kyle and his family for winning the Nintendo Switch giveaway. I also want to thank all of you who entered, and stay tuned for more giveaways.
All done?
Also, I just want to thank everybody. Lots of merch, and a comes some messages, taking pictures of your shirts. So if you want some merch and you'd like to, make a post on Instagram, merch, where you go, and enter YouTube is available. Back
Oh, that was one of the gangs formed in that era was the Denver Lane Bloods, who started on the west side of South Central and later adopted the Blood identity like many other gangs. The Denver Lanes would be early rivals of several Crip gangs, making them be outnumbered over more years. The Denver Lanes were a gang that stood the test of time, though, managing to never lose their hood and to still be active as a known gang in this current day. By the 80s, the wars the Denver Lanes had with various Crip gangs intensified. It made their area and several nearby ones become war zones, with shootings on the daily in South Central, from the west side to the east side. It became a normal occurrence just off gang affiliations. Being targeted for being where you were from and lived, as well as swift retaliation, became the norm in the streets of Los Angeles. The gang life changed the lives of many, from kids to adults, and overall brought every community down tremendously. When thriving areas by the 80s and 90s were the complete opposite. Gangs wasn't the only problem. Drugs played an outright dramatic role and shaped several communities. People were getting killed for gang issues and things behind that, but drugs like crack played a different role, making many people like living zombies, consumed by the drug. If you wasn't a drug addict, you most likely were selling it. If you wasn't involved in gang banging and selling drugs, or even being an addict, you knew someone involved in one of those outlets, or you could see it just by